Well, I'm back from Denmark, and it's safe to say that the mood is a little bit low right now because something's also taking the tomatoes. My wife called me when she came back from from Denmark. She came back before me and told me that all the zucchinis had been eaten. And of course that was a bummer, but the most important thing to me has always been the tomatoes, and they are also pretty much gone now. I guess they could sprout back from all the stems that the animal who did it left and didn't eat. I don't know what it is. I just found the feces here on the ground right here in front of the camera, which looks like to me roe deer feces. The pellets are too big to be from a rabbit, but I also found bigger traces like this big, and it's sort of in a horseshoe. So the first year we were here, there's a guy, he doesn't really have control of his horses. Two big horses, they just roam around. It could also be them, but if it's the roe deer, I there's pretty much nothing I can do this year. I don't have time, and you need a fence that's at least 1.5 meters tall, preferably two, to hold out the roe deer. So that's not sufficient. Right now I'm just considering if I should take the electrical fence from the potatoes and put it around the tomatoes, just to make me feel like I've done something at least. Now I'm the least self-sufficient homestead out there. It's just a big part of it. This one is what I would guess could be a horseshoe. But this one is smaller, but it could be just a small step. There's also this one. I don't know. I think I'm gonna put up the electrical fence and then just to say I've done something, because they have started growing back. So if I could be lucky that they don't come around again, maybe I could have some tomatoes this year. And if they get scared off by the electrical fence, I don't know. I'm just gonna try. I'm a bit desperate here. One thing that could indicate that it's a horse and not the roe deer is these two. I hammered all these poles pretty well into the ground, so it would take a pretty big animal to push these over and make them this unstable. The roe deer is not too big. It's like, yeah, so that could indicate it's a horse. It's probably both, knowing my luck. Well, I'm gonna put up the electrical fence from the potatoes and see if that can make me a bit more fortunate, and then have this one that makes this annoying sound hopefully scare off the wildlife. I don't know. I just want a tomato. Is that too much to ask? then it's just fingers crossed that I can have some tomatoes late in the season. We'll see. It's time for me to restart the job that made me realize that the mussel strain wasn't a joke. Making the hooks for the lean-to roof so I can get that roof done, crossed off the list so I can continue on the house, the most important task. Help me forget my little tomato problem. Will also be great. She's been gone for a day or two, so it's nice to see her back for food. But cats, they stroll around, don't they? But you always get nervous when they do. Because they mean so much to you. Right, Freya? So much you. Ouch, ouch.
den der, som om der sker et eller andet.
Ja, det blev pigerne også lidt overrasket over for mig. Altså, det er meget normalt.
De første par gange, han gjorde det, der løb jeg derovre. Okay. Cool. Altså, det bliver jo aldrig mega kønt, sådan en plastiktag, men altså...
Det er bedre, jeg synes, det er så meget.
Meget, altså, det var helt vildt grimt. Du havde ikke nogen funktion for det huset.
Men er du nok?
Ja, men altså, det er jo ikke helt nok, fordi jeg kom til at sætte den forkert. Den har jeg fået tid før. Ja.
Altså, sådan helt voldsomt. Bedste is, jeg nogensinde har fået.
Så grisen får ikke lang tid på, så det er så sødt bare gør det efter.
And that was officially the last screw in the roof. Of course, as always, this didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to. You can see the line's not really aligned. And I remember when I did the the metal roof on the tractor shed. The second row was, I don't know why. I should probably have put up a little line so I could see it with a little rope, so I could see the exact path I wanted to follow. Also on the second one, because I had a hard time aligning all the rows. And now that it's glued together, and I found out the problem after the third row, the third roofing sheet here. So it was hard to rip it off because the silicone has dried out. So now I'm gonna lay out this ladder with plastic on that I've made, and then glue this end so there can't get water in this way, and hopefully there won't occur algae in between the layers, because that just looks awful. So I'm hoping to solve my little problem with overlapping the sheets with filling this part with glue. We'll see if it works. The most important thing is that it's waterproof, and I think it will be. Det kunne jeg også. Når man ikke gør for det, vil det. Ja.
5. juli. Ja. Og så sådan noget mellem 10 og 14, der var der jo klokken andet. Er det en god idé at få dem her ned og smide væk, så fuglene ikke går i dem?
Kan du måske lige sætte... Skal vi kalde det en dag? Eller skal jeg tage den med? Fix!
Der er også en del her. Og noget på tungsten.
Ja. Det er ikke en lightweight fruit. Det... Sort eller hvad? Ja. Hvad er det, der kommer hjem i går?
Ja, det.
Ja, jeg tror, det er noget væk. Det er også sjovt.
Det var egentlig bare fordi jeg gik lidt. Nå, skal jeg beslutte?
Nej, snak du bare.
Jeg gik lidt.
Jeg blev bare lige bange. Det er en af mine yndlingskryddere.
Ja, det er jo. Det var bare lidt dovenskab.
Nice.
Der var en, der bed mig, eller gik forbi mig. Det var ikke. Det er også lidt spændende at se, hvordan de lever, de der italienere.
Ja.
Undskyld.
Nej.
Du mødte dem også en gang nede på
Tankstationen, ja.
Og så
De gik
igennem
byen. Ja. Jamen, og din tidligere chef. Hun har været til en eller anden fest. Nå, undskyld, sorry. Det tænker jeg jo.
Ja, vi har sådan her 28 fester.
Nu må I lige prøve at skære i kuglingen og så se, for jeg er lige lidt nervøs for det, men jeg skulle gerne have
Ej,
dig.
hvor er det lækkert. Det er sygt lækkert. Tak for at tale os på den her måde. Tak. Og du har også fået sådan. Har I nogensinde skiftet ud? Okay.
Jeg har faktisk ikke.
Jeg har aldrig nogensinde. Jeg vil ikke ane, hvad du gør. Du har skiftet. Mange flere. Sådan en billede her. Jeg kan sige det for. Sådan.
An okay week, I'd say. Not more than that. Definitely not in the great zone there, because we are now officially the least self-sufficient homestead, I think, in the world, because the tomatoes are practically gone. I put the electrical fence around them, and there are new shoots on the stems, which mean that we could be fortunate to have tomatoes later in the season if something doesn't eat them again, which I don't know. I'm not confident that's not gonna happen again. I guess that's a good way to not get disappointed. But I finished the lean-to roof, which is a great task to get out of to check off the list. We're gonna be happy about it. Of course, it didn't turn out perfectly. The first row of sheets, roofing sheets, were fine, but the second one I had a hard time lining the bows up, which meant it doesn't really look perfect. But you can't really see it on camera, and there's the cracks between when I put the new row of sheets on top. When they don't align, it's hard to close them properly, so that's where the problem is. But I think I solved it with some extra silicone, but doesn't do any benefit for the looks. But anything beats what it was before, so very happy about that. And our guest left. It's been nice with the visit. Two of my wife's friends, Maya and Emily. Good times, good talks during the evenings, but they're out on trips all day. But I hung out with them most of the evenings. It's been nice. It's always great when people wanted to come visit. So thanks for that. And we picked some fruits, mainly plums and figs, so I made some fig marmalade and with some plums in it, so I guess you could say it's both. That's a little bit of being a homestead now that I don't really have any vegetables left. Not much else to say. I'm looking forward to picking up work again. Now I can work on the house next week. It's gonna be nice. Looking forward to that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.